Hey, Discovery family. Hey, we thought it would be a great time to offer you another fireside chat with Steve and Tom. And before we got rolling, we were kind of joking about whether the fireplace should be on or not. The last time Tom and I sat in front of this fireplace to give you an update, we're pretty sure was before COVID. And obviously, we've given you a few updates through COVID, but now's the time, we're 7 months into COVID. We thought it would just be really neat to catch you up on a lot of the hard work that the staff and the elders and some key leaders of the church have been doing. So, right off the bat, a lot of you, I'm sure, want to know, when can we worship back inside the barn? The answer is November 8th. November 8th is when we're opening up the auditorium. We've been working with the city of Broomfield on our capacity numbers. And as of this video, we can have 125 people pre-registered whose temperature will be checked when you arrive, wearing masks. We can have 125 people at a time in the auditorium, and then we can have about another 45 kids in the basement. So here's the way that's going to work. Just like you pre-register for the lawn services, we're going to ask you to pre-register for November 8th. And we're really intending to make it a celebration. So it won't be a normal sermon. We'll really be enjoying each other, all 125 at a time. And maybe you're thinking, well, like, what if it sells out? We have committed to have as many services as we need to get everybody who is able or who wants to come. So please do come. We would love to see you. We would love for you to see each other. Please do register on the 8th. I'll just give a little caveat. If it happens that there's scads of services on the 8th, we'll probably push back to the next week. So we'll have some on the 8th, and then we'll ask those who came to not come on the 15th so those can come on the 15th. But if we're just doing 3 or 4 services on the 8th, that then kicks off weekly worship inside the barn with children's ministry in the basement from here on out. The next little update on that is we have, as a church, you probably know, we've had to walk into the world that we've not really had much experience with, which is live streaming. Rather than what we're doing now, which is where we film the service ahead of time, and Mike, who's standing right behind this camera right now, does an amazing job of all the editing and work. We're moving from that to where we'll actually have the right camera equipment and the right technology in the barn to be able to live stream services into your home in the moment. So all that equipment we think is going to show up around Christmas Eve, or hopefully a little before Christmas Eve, so that our Christmas Eve services can be running all day and all night through midnight, and that you can come with your family, but then also at home you can turn it on the TV and enjoy it through the day. And a lot of people have been involved in our live streaming. Tom, I thought it'd be neat to talk about just some of the opportunities that live streaming gives us as a church that are beyond just our Sunday services.
Yeah, anybody with kids in school right now, you're learning the difference between synchronous and asynchronous. So one of the great things about this equipment and the changes we're making will allow us to be synchronous when we broadcast our Sunday morning services. We're also looking at the possibility of allowing other churches to use the facility to provide recorded or live streamed services for their congregations. We're in touch with portable churches who've been locked out of facilities that they can't even use right now. And we're trying to find ways that this can be a ministry to other churches in our area, because we always want to love and support the work God's doing in other places than our own. Also, children's team is looking at creating a live streamed experience for kids on a weeknight. So that's a new venture for us completely, and a lot of excitement building around that within our staff. Student ministry would have the same opportunities. And then we've had some great success with webinars and life support groups, or book groups and study groups. And live streaming would also be a potential for those types of activities, so that people can be present in the room and online at the same time. So lots of opportunity.
Yeah, and Discovery has always been about sharing what we have with our community. And so 2021, we won't be ready this year, but long term, our plan is to be able to share our live streaming capability with organizations that want to do workshops.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're assuming that COVID's going to have some kind of impact for a while yet. So it might be that we'll be coming back to you in 2021 if you know of an organization that we can serve, that maybe they can be hosting something here. All right, so that's coming up. So November 8th is our first service in the barn. You'll see a pre-registration coming up in your inbox if you get our emails or on our website. We now just want to turn over and give you a quick unfinished update, because Tom and his team, particularly Tom and Becky and their crew, have been working really hard to keep our unfinished project moving forward. So we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, it's great, making great progress. We've been working on the design for the building that will house our student and children's ministries. And we're just affectionately now calling it the Silo Building. And when you see pictures of it and drawings, you'll understand why. There's a really prominent architectural feature that looks like a silo. So a lot of great work has gone into that. We've been in front of the city and county planning department, and it's been reviewed by all of the departments that do those reviews for them twice now. And we're working on what we hope will be our final submittal back to the city. And so far, so good. The feedback we're getting is positive, and we're moving, I think, in a direction that the city would like to see with that building. And we're at a point where we'll also be able to dial in more accurate pricing as the design has progressed forward. So all of that coming in the next couple of months. And then we're probably looking at a public hearing sometime in 2021. Definitely not in 2020. Unfortunately, we had hoped maybe to get in before the holidays, but that's looks very doubtful at this point. So sometime in the first quarter of 2021, I think, is when we'll get our moment in front of City Council, whether that's in person or virtually, and to present this project for their approval there. So and all of the site work that goes along with that. There's been so much construction activity around here. It feels like we're in the midst of a building project anyhow, with all the improvements to 144th and Zuni. But it's really all, I think, coming together very nicely. And for some of you didn't even get a chance to experience much of the remodel work that we did before we had to close down the facility and tell you all to stay away for a while. So we're excited when you come back this month or next month in November to actually be able to kind of see all the changes that have taken place in this facility, working towards our goals of more capacity, more and better space for more people.
Right. Yeah, and then we also just want to give you a quick financial update. Obviously, we are actually still in our unfinished initiative, and we were really wondering when COVID hit how that would be impacting our church. And so we took a very conservative approach to our spending as a staff and as a ministry. And actually, all the way through the end of July, the generosity of Discovery was phenomenal. It stayed really strong, which enabled us to not just keep equipping our church, but also to help other nonprofits locally and globally. Starting in August, for some reason, a lot of that giving dried up. And so we are down about 30%, about a third, in August and September. And we don't know if that's a new normal or if that's a blip, but we wanted to let you know that. We also wanted to let you know that we are keeping our commitment that the money that we've set aside for capital improvements is staying for capital improvements. We're not going to be tapping that money for our general expenses. So again, particularly under Tom's leadership, we're really tightening our belt with our general budget. We're going to be tightening it up for this next coming year just to be careful. We have always, as a church, had a posture of faith in God while trying to be wise with what's being provided. So I know for many of you, you have given sacrificially to this unfinished campaign. You have gotten us to where we are. When you come and see the barn and some of the improvements we've made here, some of the ways we've had to pivot with COVID, it's because of your generosity. Also because of all of the people who have come and asked us for help as a church in the last 6 months. It's because of generosity that we've been able to say yes. So we want to thank you for that. And we're aware that obviously COVID has changed the whole world. I'll just let you know, in all of my ministry years, it's probably the number one ministry challenge I've faced. I know you probably feel the same way, Tom.
Absolutely.
I know our elders are feeling that, our staff is feeling that. And so we just want you to know our posture as leaders is we are seeking God. We are really trying to sort out what's God doing, where is God at work. And just one of the examples of that is this live streaming equipment is, okay, it's not just for us. How can we really serve our community with that? And so one of the things that we've really been praying about as an eldership and as a team is when is the right time to build the next building. And we just think in COVID it's difficult to know. So we want you to know as a congregation, this is going to be a matter of prayer and a vote for the whole congregation when it's time. We don't believe just a handful of us should be trying to decide to make a decision that's very difficult. So In 2021, we'll be calling for a season of prayer and seeking God, and then we'll be asking for the wisdom of our congregation on when to build this next building. Not if to build it, but when is the right time. But what's really neat is Tom and Becky and their team actually have some ways to continue our unfinished initiative moving forward with the cash that we have. So Tom, maybe just give us a couple of ideas on that.
Yeah, the exciting thing is the project has lent itself very well to sort of a scalable model. So we laid out some priorities at the very beginning. We talked about the need to create more space in this building. We need the need for more parking. We can still contain more people in this building than we really have good parking for. So that's an option in front of us that could move forward separate from the actual construction of a new building. And then there's site work related to that. So and then we've even looked at the building itself, and are there parts of it that can be built and utilized and parts of it shelled so that they can be finished later and for some cost savings. So looking at lots of different ways to sort of manage the initial investment and the amount of debt that we would have to take on to complete a project that can be usable for us and approvable through the city and county. So lots of work going on there.
Yeah, so the bottom line is the money that you have given for unfinished, that the cash is there. That cash we will continue to move forward on our unfinished plans. If it triggers into debt, that becomes a congregational vote and a time of prayer. And just in summary of everything we've talked about, November 8th, we're back in the building every week. We'd love everybody who is comfortable to come and able to come. We'd love you to come. You can pre-register, and then every week following. Around Christmas, we'll have our live streaming equipment. The other summary is our general giving is down, and we are being cautious and trusting God and wanting to let you know about that. And I think that's about it. If you have any questions, you can ask Tom or I. You can reach out to any of our elders. If you're not sure who our elders are, they're wonderful people. You can find them on our church website. And we genuinely look forward to seeing you around the barn soon. A final word for those of you who, for a variety of reasons, are still, it's best for you to not come to the barn. Let us know how we can connect with you. Let us know how we can help you connect with each other. We are still and will always be the body of Christ that is gathered and scattered. So those of you who stay scattered, you are one of us. You mean a lot to us. We are in this together. We want to serve you as well. Thanks very much.